The following program is brought to you by your friends at Podcast One. Don't forget to download our new Podcast One app.
All right, so thanks so much for having us over. Your home is lovely. I didn't quite catch your name.
My name is Anthony Jeselnik.
It's Jeselnik or Jeselnik?
Welcome to the broadcast with your hosts, Ricky Hollywood and Emma VP. Starring those same two broads. Featuring
Anthony Jeselnik.
Why am I still talking? Start the show.
Welcome back to another episode of the Broadcast Podcast. Ricky Hollywood over here and Emma. We're in Anthony Jeselnik's house, which I gotta say, they checked our ID at the elevator.
Pretty fancy.
So, have you seen that Disney Channel show, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody?
You're not going to believe this, but no.
Oh, well, I feel like I was in that show. You know, Emma and I were like, maybe we should like run around the halls after.
Mm-hmm.
We might still do it.
This reference is lost on me. I would not recommend running around the halls.
Okay.
They will take you down.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Wow, that doesn't sound like fun. No offense to our other guests, but we've got the biggest one in-house tonight.
I was thinking if I was the biggest guest, but who'd you have on? Who's the sportscaster that I like?
Mina Kimes?
Mina Kimes.
Mina. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's a tie between me and Mina Kimes now.
Yeah,
you
Rebecca
probably
Black
win.
might have had you beat, too.
Yeah.
No.
Friday
Unless
Star.
she time traveled from, back when that video first came out, then
True.
no.
True. Okay, you're right. Well, anyways, we got a super, super fun show today, and I'm so excited because it's world-renowned stand-up comedian, writer, roast extraordinaire, and sort of my boss, Anthony Jeselnik.
Yeah. Anthony, what's
Thank
up?
Just trying to get through this.
Nice.
Yeah.
I read a few different articles that referred to you as the Dark Prince of Comedy. Did you come up with that?
I feel like someone else did in an article, and I liked it a lot. Like, I liked...
You embraced it.
I embraced it and then started to use it. But I knew you couldn't give yourself a nickname. But
Yeah.
I remember Lisa Lampanelli, who's a friend of mine, was like, I'm the queen of mean. You've got to say I'm the queen of mean. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. That's like a good way to brand yourself. And when I saw Dark Prince of Comedy, I was like, I like that. I like that.
Okay. Well, before we get to know our star, handsome, rich, and famous stand-up comedian, Anthony Jeselnik, today, we're fortunate enough to have a sponsor for the podcast. And normally we have our guests read it, so we'd love for you to read our ad read today. Is that okay?
Yeah. Shout out to our sponsors.
Today's episode of the Broadcast Podcast is brought to you by Babies. Babies, are you a failure in every sense of the word and looking for ways to earn your adopted father's conditional love by carrying on his artificial legacy? Perhaps you're a big fan of MTV's Teen Mom, and suddenly you're feeling a little left out. Oh, Kevin, you lonely little monster. Why didn't you say so sooner? Babies are sweet and adorable, and while they will one day grow up and tell you to f*** off at an Urban Outfitters, they'll idolize your dumbass for a good 12 years in the meantime. And hey, babies are the ultimate excuse to get out of any engagement, social or professional. Big t-shirt folding presentation at the Gap, Jim's bachelor party in Cleveland, Great Graham's wake, not your problem. That's right. Simply blame your absence on your not-so-ailing baby and dare anyone to question your lying ass now. Go ahead and bond with this tiny, screaming version of yourself and quite literally never feel alone again. Broadcast listeners can use the code "Let's Do This, Denise" with the comma and see how far that gets them. Babies. I don't think I can do this anymore, Denise.
All right, babies.
Nice. Shout out to Babies.
Love babies. That's awesome.
That's
Keeps us
awesome.
going.
Yeah.
Love our sponsors.
I feel like you guys tailored that for me.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
That's weird. Yeah, we just get
You just
what
kind
we
of give it
get.
to us and then see where it goes. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, let's get into our star, Anthony. So, who the hell are you?
Just a comedian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Slash producer.
/ producer. That's true.
I wear a lot of hats.
So just so you know, Anthony, I watched your special Thoughts and Prayers before this interview. I just want to let you know that I did my homework.
Thank you.
When people define your comedic style as dark, do you think they're referring to improper lighting or your massive amount of dead baby jokes?
The latter.
Okay.
Gotcha.
The lighting's not great.
Yeah. A lot of comedy clubs are dark lighting. Why is that? Just so it's like
so
a vibe?
that the audience can feel like they can laugh without being self-conscious. If you put a light on an audience, then they feel like, oh, like people can see me. They can't really relax. It's more for them than for the comic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
That's
So
'cause it's It's a fact.
Yeah, that's how those usually go, huh? In 2009, you were a writer on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon. Did you find Jimmy's signature happy-go-lucky persona limiting, or are you able to slip a few rape jokes into the monologue here and there?
I actually, I may have told the story before, like years ago, but I mean, he would never do any of my jokes, you know, and,
Really?
and it wasn't like we fought about it. It was like, yeah, we think these are funny, but Jimmy can't do them. And they hired me before they knew what Jimmy would want. But when they, like, for the first couple episodes, like, they did like 3 warm-up episodes that weren't on tape. And my boss, or like the head monologue writer, this guy Wayne Fetterman, was like, Anthony, come with me, let's do warm-up, you know, on the show, and we'll make a bunch of money every day on top of what we're making. And I was like, how much money? He's like, don't worry, we'll split it, it'll be fun. And so we go and we do it the first night. And
So you guys like tell jokes before the show?
yeah, we like
or-
joke around with the audience, kind of like tell them what they're in for, and then we bring out the roots, and the roots really hype up the audience.
Yeah.
And we're like, these people are so excited, we don't have to do much.
Right.
But we made a rape joke within minutes of. We like insinuated that Brian Williams raped a woman in 30 Rock.
Oh my God.
And they fired us on the spot.
Really?
Like, from doing warm up. They were like, you guys can't do this anymore.
That's why you.
Yeah.
That's when you got fired. The head.
It wasn't. That was like the reason they used, but it was. I mean, my energy is not warm up energy. Like if you're a warm up comic, that's not good.
Yeah.
You know, that's not. You're not a good comic. It just means you can do that thing.
Well, then how did you get past being a warm up? Don't you have to be a warm up comic before you're a comic?
Not when you're a writer. You can just say, "Hey guys, we'll do it," and they were like, "Oh, okay, we'll try it out." And then we're immediately like, "No, we're bringing in this other guy who just does that."
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. So Jimmy never told a rape joke because of me, but I told a rape joke anyway.
Yeah, nice.
Good for you.
Love rape.
Stand up for yourself, yeah.
Yeah. Had to do it.
Anthony, you just wrapped up a world tour performing stand up in front of millions of adoring fans. Tell me, what's your deepest regret?
It's not wrapped yet. I have another leg to go late February, early March. Going to hit Australia and then a couple countries in that area, maybe some Asian countries, maybe some Indian countries, which I think are the same thing technically. But
Nice.
yeah, I still got that left before the special comes out. My deepest regret would be saying yes to this, letting you two into my home. I could have had you stopped at the valet or had the ID checker.
Yeah, smart.
Just to take you guys out. But
Should've.
I did.
Yeah, exactly.
Glad you didn't. So, Anthony, when Erica was brought on as your producer for the JRVP podcast at Comedy Central, did you have any say in her hiring, and what's your least favorite quality about her?
I had 100% say in her hiring. I mean, there weren't a lot of options. I could have been like, keep looking, but I
Right.
trusted Greg, and his description of Erica sounded like what I wanted in the studio, which is pretty much just like she worships you,
Right.
And would kill for this job, which I like. I like her spunk, as I always say.
Yeah.
I would say if she has a fault, or the fault that I've noticed the most about Erica, she's thirsty.
Yeah.
She's thirsty. She slips herself in to the podcast a lot, even when I haven't asked her to. And she uses social media to kind of build herself up in a way that if she was like, ask my permission before she hit send, I would probably say no.
Right.
But I tolerate it. And then, of course, you know, just asking me to do this. I couldn't imagine asking anyone to do my podcast,
Right.
much less my boss. But that's a small thing. You're what, 26 years old? Yeah, I think sometimes the qualities that would be negative, you know, 10 years from now are positive now.
Right.
But you are thirsty. You are walking through the desert.
I don't
For 40
see
days,
it that way.
thirsty.
I do not see it
I know
that
you don't,
way.
but when you look back on this, you'll be like, oh yeah, I was thirsty as can be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Erica.
Someone should have handed me a Sprite.
No, I'm cute and like, you know, bubbly.
I named a bunch of positive qualities.
For sure.
If there was one negative, that would be it. But I couldn't name a second negative thing about you.
I hate her allergies.
Allergies?
Yeah, she's allergic to gluten and nuts, and it's really annoying.
I didn't know that.
Because then, like,
Okay.
we're going out to eat and stuff, and she's just so limited.
Yeah, that's
and I
annoying.
can't enjoy like certain meals with her.
You can
Yeah.
eat whatever the hell you want.
Yeah,
Let
but
me-
it's just like you bring it down.
Eating with someone who's gluten free is kind of annoying.
It sucks.
Okay, well,
I
shit.
didn't know that about you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you ever
can add that.
regret leaving your job as like a strip club doorman? And do you keep in touch with any of those girls?
It was a really fun job. It was a really fun job. I actually went back like years ago to New Orleans and just stopped in.
Were some of the girls still there?
There was one girl who was still there, and she looked like she stood outside during Katrina. Like I didn't recognize her at all from my time there.
Yeah.
But the DJ recognized me and came over, and I was like, "Is this person here?" And they were like, "No." After Katrina, like everyone changed over.
You were like Crystal Lynn.
Yeah. There was. I didn't know any of because they all had their names and then their dancer name, and I didn't know either one. Do you know?
Yeah.
Someone come in and
Did
be
you
like,
have a nickname
I'm
being
here.
a doorman?
No, they didn't even know my name.
Yeah.
They didn't even. They were like, "Do you have drugs?" And I'd be like, "No, I'm just working." And they'd be like, oh, like I was not doing my job well.
Nice.
How'd you get into that line of work?
I needed a job, and I just went to the campus center and looked at things. And Rick's Cabaret was a famous strip club at the time. Now it's not so good. But I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. I'll see if my significant other will let me do that.
Yeah.
And they did, and I went down, and it was supposed to be a barback job. But the guy who was in charge of doormen had just graduated Tulane and was like, oh, I can bring in one of my guys, and gave me kind of like the sweet shift. Like,
nice.
I was kind of during the day on weekends. So I could do classes. So it wasn't...
that's perfect.
Yeah, it was pretty great. I loved it. I love that job.
Nice.
Yeah, sounds fun.
So, Anthony, in 2009, you were named as one of Comedy Central's Breakout Comedians of the Year, along with Nick Kroll, Aziz Ansari, Whitney Cummings, Donald Glover, Matt Bronger, TJ Miller, Kumail Nanjiani, and John LaJoie. That's so cool. Awesome. Congrats on that, by the way. How does it feel to be the 7th most famous person out of 9 total 10 years later?
As long as I can beat Bronger, you know what I mean, then I'm happy. Like, that was my goal going into it. I knew Donald Glover was going to be a star.
Really?
I knew. Oh, the first time I saw him, there were 2 people in my life that the first time I saw them just like walking through a room while they were performing, I was like, star. Donald Glover and Tiffany Haddish.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was just like undeniable charisma.
Yeah.
I remember doing that, taping that episode, and all those other people are my friends, except for Donald. I don't really know him.
Yeah.
And so they're asking you to make jokes about these people, and I'm very comfortable making fun of my friends. And they get to Donald Glover, and I'm like, I think the guy's insanely talented. I can't really say anything about him. And they were like, oh, did you know that while he was still in college, he got a job writing on 30 Rock? And I just like look at the camera guy and go, oh, well, hooray for affirmative action. Like totally being sarcastic. I just told him he's the most talented person I've ever seen. And then when the episode airs, they do like a segment on each of us, and they drop that joke into the middle of his segment.
Oh my God.
So he's like watching it with his family, and it's like me just like slamming everything about him, like in the middle of it. That I was like, I wish I had a say in the edit.
Really?
Oh my God.
Did he say? I mean, obviously he didn't say anything.
He didn't. I'm sure it didn't bother him. I'm sure he didn't care. I bet his family was probably more annoyed.
Yeah.
But with the network, more than me.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Jeez, you've been a part of many celebrity roasts, from Donald Trump to Charlie Sheen to Roseanne Barr. How did you first get ID'd as someone who'd be great at making fun of big-time assholes?
Oh, pretty much immediately. I mean, everything I did on stage was trying to tell people that I should be on a roast.
Okay.
I've got like short, concise jokes. I'm mean as hell. I can be quick. Like, I just wanted to get into that world.
Yeah.
At the time, roasts meant a lot to me. So I wrote on the Hasselhoff roast. Like, I just wanted to write for them. And that was so much fun. And they kind of like, they bring you in for like a week. And if it goes well, they keep you on. And they kept me for the whole time. Thought about bringing me on to that roast.
Yeah.
And thought, well, he's been giving away some of his best jokes for a week. Let's bring him on the next one. And then I did those 3. Yeah.
Really? Mm-hmm. What about the Justin Bieber roast?
Bieber, they asked me, and I was just like, I don't care about people that age.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Something that sounded like it would have been fun a few years ago. Wasn't fun at the time. And I kind of did them up until I did 3 in a row, and the Franco roast happened, and they were like, Anthony's too mean for this roast.
Really?
And I was like,
That one
okay.
did seem kind of soft.
They tried to, they thought that Comedy Central will have this idea, and I think they still might, that one day they'll have a roast of George Clooney with Brad Pitt on the dais and Nicole Kidman. That will never happen.
No.
But they keep thinking it might. They
Right.
go out to Johnny Depp every year. They're really trying to get huge stars, and it just never happens.
Yeah.
But they thought by making it nicer and classier,
Okay.
quote unquote, that it would bring in the bigger people, and it doesn't work.
Okay. I mean, Donald Trump.
Yeah, I thought that was the best roast ever, because he was a celebrity, and no one would ever feel bad for making fun of him. You could say whatever you wanted.
Yeah, seriously. You still can now.
In 2011, you were featured in an article in Pittsburgh Magazine titled King of Zing. Do you still ask people to call you that? And I thought you were the Dark Prince of Comedy. Which one do you prefer?
I mean, once my dad died, he was the King of Zing. Then I kind of got promoted, but I didn't really want the crown.
Right.
I enjoyed being the Dark Prince of Comedy. But, when your dad dies, you got to put on his hat. You got to wear his hat around.
Yeah.
So I wore it for a little bit, but then I gave it up and went back to being a prince.
Nice. Do you prefer Prince life over being a king?
Of course. I mean, who wouldn't? But now I feel like as I get older, I just, I am the king.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, hail to the king, baby, is something I'm allowed to say now that I'm older.
So people online seem to think that there's like some major sexual tension between Greg and I don't really see that.
From
Do
our
you see that?
podcast?
Just from in life, I guess.
I don't know what things are like on the other work you guys do together.
Yeah.
I know that you guys, went on a date once.
Yeah, that was
so
weird.
That's weird. I don't get any tension between you.
Me neither.
Greg is the most happily married man I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
And you are it seemed like you'd be a disaster to date.
Oh, yeah.
Like, why would Greg ever put that gun to his head?
Yeah.
But I don't see any tension at all. But I can see the podcast listeners making something up.
Okay.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, fair, I guess.
That date was a little weird, buddy.
It wasn't a date. Come on. His wife was sick.
I don't
So
know.
I stepped in.
It
So I
wasn't.
still did.
Right in,
It
didn't
wasn't a
you?
date, but it was like a social occasion with
Just me and Greg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It's fine.
whatever does it for you.
You recently signed a multi-platform development deal with Comedy Central. Why do you think they haven't signed us yet? And don't you want credit for discovering us?
When you say us, you mean the two of you?
Yeah.
Or the three of us.
Or the three of us. Yeah.
Who knows?
I love when people try to attach themselves to me. Like, I thought of a TV show. Like, let's do it. Like, you're going to have to star and executive produce it and pitch it. And I'm like, that's not how this works. I think if you just stay in the game, Comedy Central is certainly aware of you from the podcast. My manager is aware of you and is a big fan, and she's very tied into Comedy Central. That if you guys just keep on doing what you're doing, only get better at it, then I could see you guys working with Comedy Central one day.
Shout out, Christy. It's your manager, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Shout out. Hey,
She
Christy.
still can't believe she didn't meet you at my party.
I didn't meet her?
No, she wanted to meet you. She was like, "Where's Erica?" I was like, "She left."
Oh, my God. I
Yeah.
thought I met her and didn't remember, and I was like, this is really...
I don't know which one's worse.
That would be bad, yeah. No, we'll pull up the skirt, as they like to say, that we were at your birthday party, which was super fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for having
Thanks
us.
for throwing a bash.
Thank you for coming. I've never heard that pull up the skirt thing. I was like, what is she talking about?
Yeah.
right
That's what
now?
we say around here, yeah.
Yeah, I like to pull up the skirt every once in a while.
That was
you know?
on the invitation. It was like, you can come to my birthday party. You got to pull up the skirt.
Pull up
Yeah,
the skirt.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's how you got in, man.
They didn't check IDs.
They didn't check IDs.
It's like,
It's
are you
harder to
wearing a
get into
skirt
your elevator
when you pull it
than
up?
it is to your birthday.
Anthony, I was first introduced to your comedy my freshman year at Syracuse when the guy across the hall from me in my dorm used to laugh super loud and obnoxiously at your stuff, and I was just trying to study for finals. He ended up dropping out and having a mental breakdown. Do you feel at all responsible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Sounds about right.
But I probably helped him through that mental breakdown.
Probably, yeah.
I think a lot of my fans are a little bit off in a good
I'd
way.
say.
Some
Yeah.
people can handle that, and some people can't.
I'm just thinking about your stand-up, and I've told you this before.
Right now?
Yeah, right now.
Okay.
I've told this.
Glad you're present.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just thinking about it right now. And Emma, you mentioned it earlier. Thoughts and Prayers. That was a phenomenal stand-up special. That was great. Okay, But I've told you this before. The puppy jokes. That's where it gets me. Dead baby jokes are hilarious.
What puppy? I mean, I don't remember that special. I don't like joke for joke. I know I've got a dog special in the new one,
Oh,
Fire
really?
and Maternity Ward, that comes out next year. This one, you're talking about the one where I bought a new puppy
And then-
and
and you
it tore
left
my
it-
place apart.
Yeah.
Shit everywhere and starved to death.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was a good one.
Is that true?
No, none of my jokes are true. But someone once told me early on in comedy, they were like, "You can joke about anything. Don't joke about hurting animals, especially cats or dogs, because everyone in the audience is just going to think about their cat or dog.
Yeah.
And no matter how good the joke is, they won't laugh at it." And I just thought, challenge accepted.
Yeah.
So every special I've done or hour I've done, there's been at least 1, 2, 4, or 5 animal jokes.
Oh, wow.
I just like to find a way around it.
Nice.
Yeah, but I did not kill a puppy.
Okay,
I would be upset if I
If you actually killed.
But
the
the
puppy.
funniest way to kill a puppy would be to just leave it locked up and then be mad at all the other things it did before it died.
That's pretty up.
Yeah. I'm always fascinated by the one joke that will get someone. You know,
Exactly.
like, everyone always has their one that I think the most damaging joke I've ever told, like in terms of people coming up to me and being like, "I love you." But
But-
even that one joke like turned me inside out.
Yeah.
I had this joke. I think it's in Thoughts and Prayers, maybe, or maybe Caligula. But it was, I drink a lot. I say things I shouldn't.
Can relate.
The other night I got wasted with my girlfriend at a party. Woke up in bed next to her, and I should have just said nothing, but instead I said, "Baby, don't get mad, but I think I slept with your mom last night." And she said, "Anthony, that's impossible." And I said, "Oh, well, in that case, you should always wear makeup." And women like my friends would come up and just be like, "That is devastating. Like that, like just hurts." Any woman like over 28 is just like, And I just thought that was hilarious. That they could handle everything else, but that one.
That's
Just
a good
that.
one.
They're
That's
cool
a
with
good one.
the rape and the Holocaust and all that, but
The ones that are like so out there and crazy, it's almost
Yeah.
like Star Wars of comedy. But the ones that like hit close to home, those are the ones that people like fall asleep at night thinking about.
Oh, God. I
love
believe it.
Anthony, I don't know why, but I feel like you can relate to this. So in my life, I've made it a point to never be friends with anyone that has my name. In fact, I hate other people named Emma, like anyone else named Emma. I don't even like my friends to have friends named Emma. And even in middle school, there was another girl named Emma that came into the fold, and I convinced everyone to call her Weird Emma. Does this make me some kind of egotistical asshole, or should more people adopt this policy?
I don't think it makes you weird at all because not so much with names. I mean, with Anthony, if there's like two Anthonys, I'm not going to be Tony. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're going to be Tony.
Hell yeah.
That's fine. I don't fight nicknames. If someone was like tried to call me Anthony too, I'd be like, I'm going to ignore that until we go back to the way things should be in nature.
Right.
But if someone tells me like,
Dark
I've got
Prince.
a friend who's coming to town, you'd love me. He reminds me a lot of you. I'm like, I hate him already.
Really?
Yeah, like I hate the idea
Yeah.
of someone like me, or the fact that I would get along with someone like me.
Right.
Is impossible. So I don't think you're taking it far enough.
Cool.
Yeah.
All
Anyone
right.
with your haircut, you should be pissed at.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll take.
I would be
your
pissed at it.
Yeah.
I mean, look at it.
It's the same as yours.
Yeah, we're
Exactly. You guys could be twins.
That's not true. Don't say that. All right, so here's two broads and a lie. It's like two truths and a lie. So we're going to read you
Do you know
three
that one?
things. Have you ever heard of it?
So you say three things. I got to pick the one that's a lie.
Yes.
exactly.
Wow, you're quicker than you look.
I've never
Holy
played
hell.
that game, but I've heard people who can't come up with their
You
own
don't
bits
seem like a
often
guy that
do-
like plays games at parties. Like, let's all play Heads Up.
Never. I had to play charades last year at a good friend's birthday party, who also went to Syracuse.
Oh, yeah?
Actually. And they made us play charades, and it was like, I mean, it felt like I was playing like high school football or something. Like they took it so seriously that like you could not screw around.
Really?
I didn't like it. But if they're like all categories or cranium was a big one when I first moved out here. That just
Oh.
I thought this is awful.
Ugh,
Yeah, no,
I
I don't
never
like
play games. I always opt out.
Yeah.
Even if everyone's playing, I'm like, nope, not me.
Well, that's annoying.
I
just
was
drink.
once at a party where they made me walk out of the room, and I have to come back in. They'd like pick someone, and I got to ask 3 questions, and then they would answer, and I have to find out who I was they were talking about. But I didn't know anyone at the party except for this one girl. And so every time they kept making me do it, it was designed to make me pick that girl, and I still didn't get it. Like I'd be like, "This guy," and they'd be like, "No, it's the one person you know anything
Who
about."
brought
Like,
you?
Yeah, it's that person. And I was like, "This is I hate this game."
All right, cool. Emma, why don't you start us off?
All right, here's the first of the two broads and a lie. Erica's best friend Donnie was asleep in her room after a wild night out when one of Erica's other 400 friends, Ryan, drunkenly went to get into the bed next to Donnie. He was so drunk he grabbed onto the wardrobe for stability, but it toppled over, including a 5-gallon fish tank filled with fish, onto Donnie and her twin mattress on the apartment floor. Erica heard the commotion and grabbed all her friends to come see and laugh. She filmed it for about 30 seconds until everyone realized that Donnie had been knocked unconscious in the crash. There were fish flopping around her body, and they all regretfully passed away that evening. The fish,
Okay.
not Donnie's.
Okay, that's
So-
1 of 3.
Yep. So when
I would
Emma
totally believe that.
When Emma was a 14-year-old freshman in high school, she had a best friend named Katie from the soccer team, and that was about it for friends. One night, Katie came over to Emma's house to hang out and watch High School Musical, but she ended up leaving an hour later to go to a gathering of the cool kids at Christian George's house, to which she did not invite Emma. To make matters worse, Katie took Emma's purple electric scooter to the party, and that was the last time she ever saw it.
I would believe. I mean, that's a devastating thing to have someone come over and then leave like that.
Yeah.
I remember there was like a birthday party because my birthday's right before Christmas, and I had a bunch of friends over and we were like watching movies. We had pizza and everything, and then like after the first movie, I'm like, "All right, guys, another one," and we're like sleeping over, and they were like, "We actually have to go," and I was like,
What?
Okay. And then I found out they all went over just to different friends' house and hung out over there, like down the street. And I was like, never having like a birthday sleepover ever again.
It's the worst.
Oh my God, that's like the most endearing thing I've ever heard about you.
Mm-hmm. Your friends will all betray you on your birthday. If you let them.
Seriously. Did you kill them?
No, but I do not speak to any of them anymore.
Good.
Nice.
I bet
They
they
deserve
regret
it.
that.
Not because of that situation. We were all still like you didn't have a choice. They were like neighborhood friends, so I had to hang out with them. But I never tried to have a party again.
That's so sad.
I don't know. I don't blame you. You
Yeah.
sound like a bunch of assholes.
So when Emma was 10, she became obsessed with the Lord of the Rings trilogy and decided from that point on she'd like to take on the persona of her favorite character, brunette, half-elvish woman, Arwen of Rivendell. As the would-be wife of Arwen, Emma, Arwen, walked about in traditional elvish robes and practiced fighting off orcs with a stick sword in her backyard. Emma's parents tried to get her to drop the Arwen alter ego, but this only pushed her further into the imaginary world of Middle-earth as she started only speaking gibberish and claiming it was her native elvish tongue. This proved to be particularly problematic in Emma's 5th grade English class, where she failed every vocabulary test and was forced to attend summer school.
Okay. Two bras and a lie.
It reminds me of when I was in like high school, I think, and I was reading something where the devil was the main character, and the devil spoke in the royal we. You know, like we are displeased by this. You know,
Yeah.
I started doing it like to see if I could because it sounded cool, and then I couldn't stop.
Really?
Like it took me like I put the brakes on 'cause I was like I'm sick of this, and then it took me like another week and a half where I was like maybe this is just the way I talk now.
Maybe.
But it was terrifying. I'm gonna go with my instinct and say that the first two are broads, and the last one's a lie.
You're right.
You got it. Yeah.
Good for you.
Giveaways. I don't think any parents like I read The Hobbit when I was younger, and my parents were like so excited that I was reading this like book that older people read that I couldn't imagine parents getting upset at their kid getting into a book, even though I never read the rest of them and don't really know who that character is. But I assume it's the one that Liv Tyler played in the movie.
Yes. I believe so.
It's a good.
I wouldn't know
good
because of the
guess.
lie. I did like Lord of the Rings, though.
You did?
I would never identify with Arwen, though.
Who would you
I would
identify with?
Gollum.
I passed The Hobbit. I didn't read any of the books. The movies were good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
So when I've been drinking, I tend to be far more chatty and oddly defensive of Erica. When Erica gets drunk, she buys people drinks and turns into a skank. What's drunk Anthony like?
Drunk Anthony's a lot happier and nicer than regular Anthony.
Drink
like
up.
I'm just happy. Like to the point where if I black out, I'm like, oh no, like what? Who thinks I'm friends with them now? Who I actually don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm.
Gotcha.
I don't think I talk. I try not to talk too much when I drink, but I am definitely just very happy and excited to be there. when
Nice.
I'm drunk. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know why I decided to pull out my credit card as soon as maybe it's because I am so thirsty and I want people to like me and I'm just like insecure.
I like to buy drinks. I pick up a lot of checks when I shouldn't. We're like, you don't have to do this.
Right.
But it's fun to
Yeah.
buy a round or to pick up dinner. So I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah, there's a little big difference though between me and you. So it's like you picking
Well,
up.
now, but
Erica
even
probably
when I was
shouldn't-
like, for a long time, I had nothing.
Yeah.
I was probably 30 before I wasn't living week to week anymore.
Like we are in your
But if I had
penthouse.
any money, sure. But if I had any money at all, like back in the day, like through my 20s, college even, like I just spent it on everyone because my friends would take me out. They were like, "You're fun. Don't stay home because you have no money. Beer's on us." So if I had any money at all, it was like, "Guys, let's get a keg." You know,
Yeah.
on me.
Okay.
You gotta give it back when you have it.
I always do. That's my problem actually. It's my
Yeah.
downfall. Yeah, they're coming after my house, my car. It's all gonna get repossessed.
Do you have a lot of credit card debt?
No, I really don't actually. I just spend a lot of dumb money. I would be saving a lot more money if I was actually intelligent, but
I sometimes think how much money I would save if I did not drink.
oh my
You know what I mean?
God.
Quite a
So I'll go to
bit.
like a nice restaurant and not be drinking, and I'm like, oh, the bill's like a third of what it normally is.
Yeah.
And then you realize, oh yeah, I'm spending so much money on alcohol.
Right
Yeah.
on.
I love alcohol though, you know? You kinda need
It's
it.
so good.
You really do need it.
I think you need it. I enjoy it.
Yeah. No, I need it. I
need it.
need it. Why are you so obsessed with sharks?
Is that one of the questions, or you just like ad lib that?
No, it's
When I was a kid, I just loved Jaws. I loved the movie
you're
Jaws.
wearing a T-shirt that says Shark Week.
Yeah, back when I used to work with Shark Week.
Mm-hmm.
I just loved Jaws so much that it was like to be able to talk about it in school almost. Like the first report you have to do when you're like in third grade, they make you do a report, is on your favorite animal. Like pick an animal and do a report on it. And I just picked sharks, and the more I found out about them, the more fascinating they became. And it feels like we're always finding out new things about them. They're not like dogs where it's like, oh, a new fact every year. Sharks, it's like we have no idea how they breed kind of thing that I love the mystery.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah. I like Shark Week too. I liked it before it became a ridiculous commercial.
Yeah, in the
nonsense.
past couple of years, it's gotten kind of bad.
Yeah.
Even like I used to do this thing called Shark After Dark. Like the last 3 years, I would be on it. And this year, they came to me and asked me to be on it. And I was like, yeah. And they were like, oh no, it's totally different this year.
They have
Now
a
you're
shack
going
or
to be
something.
playing Truth or Dare with Ian Ziering. And I was like, I'm not doing that.
What?
This is dumb. Yeah.
So you said no.
Yeah.
Wow.
I turned it down.
Nice.
Good for you. Mm-hmm. So, do you want to be my mentor?
I don't know. Like, it's hard to be anyone's mentor. Like when I have openers, all of my openers are female, almost exclusively, and I try to do what I can to help them and mentor them. I'm always available for questions. But Doug Stanhope once had a great quote. He was like, "If you give a comedian advice, you're just telling them how to be more like you." And there's so many ways to get to where I am in comedy that for me to tell you my way would almost ruin those other paths for you. That would I give you advice and help you? Yes, but to be like your like mentor, that you were like my Padawan, would I think be doing you a disservice.
Okay.
That when I was at your level and I wanted a mentor, I would think about like asking people to lunch and be like, would you just like give me some advice and tell me? And I realized that would have been the worst thing I could have done. That like just pick an enemy and try to beat them. And then once you've beaten them and you're doing better than them, then pick someone else.
Hell
Keep
yeah.
on moving up.
Damn.
That's the best advice
Yeah,
I've heard
try
since
to-
being out here.
Yeah, find your idols and then try to crush them.
So how do you think this is going so far? Like I feel great. Like I love being around you and hanging out. And then I'll get a text from Greg later that will be like, oh, Anthony said you didn't drink enough, or Anthony said that you weren't funny, or oh, you thought you had fun last night, but Anthony thinks that you're dumb.
Is that two broads and a lie? What's going on? 'Cause I've definitely. I was just surprised at how much you psyched yourself up as like I'm the big drinker. That when I was like, let's go out and drink, you were pretty subdued.
Yeah.
You didn't like not drink, but you were just subdued. Where I was like, oh, I thought this was going to be Erica's time to shine.
Yeah.
And that was the only disappointing.
It was my first time meeting Greg's wife, so I was trying to be like, on my best behavior. And then also my little brother was in town, so
I get it. I mean, I
was
understand.
circumstantial.
But still. But you didn't say that. You didn't give me those caveats before dinner. Like if you had told me, like, listen, we'll have more fun later on, but tonight is like I've got these other things. It was just like day of, like, oh yeah, I'm in for dinner, but I'm having another dinner before that. Like, I was like, oh, that's weird.
So, Anthony, sometimes when I'm insanely stressed out, I'll get in my car and just scream at the top of my lungs. What do you like to do in your free time?
That's a good one. I've never just screamed in my car. I had a friend once who had a bad audition and just walked outside, yelled at her agent, and then poured like a bottle of water over her head and screamed. And everyone looked at her.
What?
And I was like, "That you're crazy."
Who?
I would do that.
Yeah, I got a punching bag in my bedroom upstairs that I hit when I feel like I need to scream in my car, but I don't want to go down to the valet.
Yeah.
Yeah. That must be tough.
Yeah, that's tough, yeah.
You can't just like jump in the car,
Right.
He's got to get it, and the guy's got to pull it around.
Show your ID,
and-
yeah.
Do you tip?
I don't. I mean, there's like
Well, yeah.
at the end of the year. I mean, they're employees. Like I pay HOA fees that pays their salary. And at the end of the year, that like we recommend, from this much up to this much, and I give the max every year. And they don't even know how much I give. They just know that I gave, but I give the max anyway because they would assume that would be like that.
Yeah.
And that way, I don't feel bad about not knowing any of their names.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's super fair.
I'll be like, I need this done. They're like, ask Angelo, and I'm like, guys.
This is too much.
Yeah. I don't know who that is.
When you're doing crowd work during your stand-up act, how do you determine who's in the audience, like who in the audience you're going to pick on? See, for me, if I was a comedian, I would pick on Emma because she's just like a nervous loser, and it might be easy. Is that too
Pretty
easy?
easy.
Do you sometimes like scan to be like? I mean, I don't know how much crowd work you like to do with your.
It depends on how much material. Sometimes I'm like, I got this hour of material. I want to go through it. Everyone shut the f*** up.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm like, you know what? Look, I've got 45. Let's mess around. I can find some things in here. And it is fun.
Yeah.
Crowd work is like a show just for the people who came that night. That I like picking out people in the front row who were like a little squirmy, but not like if you don't want to talk to me, I don't want to like force it out of you.
Yeah.
You know, if I talk to you and you're just like frozen, that's not fun.
Yeah.
But I want someone who I don't want the person who's like, oh, me, because that person sucks.
Yeah.
If you ask someone a question and they try to be funny, it's bad crowd work. So you want someone who's going to kind of take it seriously and is a little nervous enough to, you know, make it fun and tense.
Yeah. If you saw Emma in the crowd, like, would you just be
I would
like,
probably if you were in the front row,
Yeah.
for sure.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
God.
she screams
When I
like,
do crowd work, I'm not going after someone. I'll make some jokes, but I'm never like, no one's ever left crying because of my crowd work.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually my jokes.
yeah.
Advice for broads who want to be like Anthony Jeselnik.
I think of the advice from Don Draper, who gave what he gave to Peggy in like season 2. Maybe he was just like, pick the person you want to be, and then be it.
Yep.
You know, just try to see if you can pull it off. The audience kind of tells you, you know, if it's believable or not. Like the way that Erica lies,
Right.
It's like a tell. Like you've got poker tells, you've got to figure out what your weaknesses are and plug them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe find a different tell, or just be aware that you're a bad liar and find a way to lie better.
Yeah.
You know, the more truth you have in that lie, you can probably pull it off better. Whereas you just go like, the sky is red, and we're like, Erica, we're looking at her right now. Like, that's not working at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can.
Fair.
You can get through this world pretty easily, or more easily, if you just look like you know what you're doing. And in the beginning, when you're younger, no one does. No 20-year-old knows what they're doing. So that's one of your best qualities is just blindly lashing out if someone questions you. That I think will serve you well in your life. But no
Not
one
now.
believes at a 20. I mean, it's serving you well now, but it's false.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if I meet a very confident 20-year-old, I'm like, you're either a Rhodes Scholar or you're lying.
I am a Rhodes
but
Scholar.
You meet a confident 40-year-old, you're like, I believe it. I don't know what you've done, but you probably have a PhD or something.
Yeah.
You know?
You don't. I don't look like I could have a PhD.
I mean, you don't look like you don't have one, but you have a bad job for someone who's got a PhD.
Yeah. Seriously.
You failed miserably since.
Can you imagine?
No, I definitely can't imagine.
Yeah.
Anthony, if you're known for anything, it's your empathy and outpouring compassion, especially when things go sideways. Like, you're just a comforting dude. Like, just by looking at you, like, you're definitely someone who like gives out a lot of
Put people
hugs.
at ease, yeah.
Exactly. We figured it'd be perfect to have you respond to some letters from some of our listeners who have some deeply concerning personal problems. They'd like your advice on.
They've written this specifically to hear my advice.
Yeah.
Like also
Not
us,
just, like,
but
not just we want
you.
advice and Anthony's the guest.
Yeah.
Because like there's like an open mic they do at the Comedy Store where it's called Kill Tony. I think it's a podcast too where people put their name in a hat and then they come up and they get to do 1 minute of stand up and then like the people on stage make fun of them.
Really?
And sometimes I'm the surprise guest. And they said that when I'm the surprise guest, half the people whose names they pull out of the hat just suddenly aren't there. Or just like, oh, I didn't know he was going to be the one. That I take pride in that. So if these people know kind of what they're getting into, like are these tailored for Anthony Jeselnik or are they?
I think they're just all of us in general.
Yeah, I guess
So
we'll
are we
find
all
out.
giving advice or it's just me?
All of us.
You're the primary though, you know, because you're the guest, so your opinion matters more, and you're Anthony Jeselnik, so it matters more because of that. So,
I don't know though. What if it's like a girl question?
Well, I guess we'll
that
find
can't
out.
answer?
I mean-
I got sisters. I know a lot of girl things.
Yeah.
Dear Broads, I'm 33 years old and I'm a stand-up comic on a Carnival cruise ship that goes from Fort Lauderdale to Miami and back. It's a bit of a scam because the captain drives the boat in circles for several hours in the middle of the night and passengers are made to believe we've docked in the Bahamas by daybreak. It's a very elaborate charade with paid actors portraying locals, but either way, it's the least of Carnival Cruise Line's problems and I get paid whether the tourists sue us or not. Anyway, back to me. I'm writing into this podcast today because I want to propose to my wonderfully goofy, charmingly stupid, sometimes twitchy as girlfriend Edith. But we have a huge problem. As I mentioned, I'm a stand-up comedian, and I'm not going to lie to you, I slay. Seriously, if I had a nickel for every time a couple asked me to come back to their lower deck cabin to put on a private show, I'd have 35 cents right now. My problem with Edie is she straight up doesn't think I'm funny, which, as I made clear, isn't true. And to make matters worse, she cackles her medium-sized ass off at the king of Zing himself, himself, my arch nemesis, Anthony Jeselnik. Sometimes during my sets, I can hear her in the corner of the boat giggling to old episodes of the Jeselnik offensive, and it really throws me off my game. It's almost like she doesn't know how he used to spit his gum in my hair and slash my tires every day in high school. Broads. I love Edith more than the sun loves the moon, and I want to make her my bride. How can I get past this horrible flaw? Signed, Sinking Relationship.
Is this a real question? You guys write this?
It's real.
Yes,
totally
totally,
real.
Okay,
totally real.
I couldn't really. If you had lied to me, I wouldn't know. But I just one glance, Erica told me that this is pure fiction. First of all, if you're doing stand up on a Carnival cruise ship, you're not that funny. You know, it's kind of like a warm up situation. Like they are performing a service, but like someone like me. Could never be on a Carnival cruise ship.
Even if it was like a headlining, they paid you a ton of money.
If it was like, because sometimes they'll do like a band will do like there'll be like a Weezer cruise, and if like they've asked me to do that, and I've always said no. I don't want to have to live with the people I just performed for.
Yeah.
I like to appear in like a puff of smoke on stage and then disappear the same way, and you never see me in between.
Yeah.
I don't like that like running into the teacher in the grocery store
I
situation.
hate that.
But if I know a lot of comedians whose significant others could not think they're less funny, and it always makes me laugh. And I remember like being on the Oddball tour a couple years ago with like a bunch of really famous comedians, Nick Kroll, John Mulaney, Amy Schumer, Aziz Ansari, and like family members would come to every show and be running around meeting everyone. And when like my family would come back, they just wanted to hang out with Nick Kroll and meet everybody else. And I was like, this is annoying that your family comes back here and just like doesn't care about you. And Nick Kroll said, "Oh, you are your family's least favorite comedian."
Makes
sense. Because they know
sense.
so much about you, but they're like, "Oh, that's Nick Kroll. I've never seen him. I got to go talk to him."
Yeah.
You're not exciting anymore. So you just once you figure that out, then you're going to be okay. But if I don't think I could date someone who didn't think I was funny, unless their reaction to me being not funny was funny to me. Do you know what I mean? And they'd have to be like accomplished in their own right. They'd have to have something on the table.
Right.
Like, if you don't think I'm funny, you'd better have a PhD.
Yeah.
You know, you'd better bring something to the table.
Exactly.
But it wouldn't be a deal breaker. I would find it kind of charming.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
it's better than someone laughing at everything you say, you know, for no reason.
Oh, that must be obnoxious.
That
I
must
hate
suck.
when people do that with me. It's like, come on, let me get a sentence out.
I always test if I think a waiter recognizes me, I'll be like, let's find out, and I'll just say something nonsensical, and then like look at them, and if they laugh, I'm like, yeah, that didn't make any sense.
Yeah, but what if
You
that's
laughed
just like an
anyway.
awkward laugh? Like if some weirdo like made something nonsensical comment, I'd be like, haha.
I can tell. I mean, it's not like just totally nonsense. It's
Yeah.
just like and it's being like, I'll have the spaghetti, if you know what I mean. And you're like, doesn't mean anything.
That's not just something Erica would just say.
I mean, I might. You don't know.
Yeah, no, we'll
You
laugh
never
at that.
know. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of concerning that the cruise ship only goes from Fort Lauderdale to Miami and back. I'd say like that's like the bottom line of cruise ships.
If I was going to do a Carnival cruise, I'd be like, it lasts an hour. Okay, maybe I'll do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
and
they
then
still
they
make it seem
helicopter
like they're
you
going to
in.
the Bahamas, though.
Yeah.
And the arch
Brutal.
nemesis, like the arch
Yeah,
nemesis is
you put gum
I
in
knew
his
it.
hair.
I knew
or?
once you said 33, there's no way that could be my arch nemesis. If you had said later, I'd be like, okay,
Yeah.
that someone might have beef.
Okay. Do you have anyone that like despises you?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
But no one who doesn't like me that I'm not like, yeah, I see why you'd hate me. You know what I mean? Are you jealous? Like, I see why you'd be jealous.
Yeah.
Like, you're just like, I got drunk at a party and made a joke that you offended you. I believe that.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm not a perfect person, but I'm pretty great.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
I actually was messaging with someone on Bumble, like a dating app, and
That's the one where the girl chooses?
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah. So crapshoot. Yeah, but literally, I think I've been spending too much time with you because they asked how I slept the night before, and I said like a baby in a hot car. If you catch my drift. Wow. And I was like, that is brilliant that I said that. Don't you think that's
like
great?
The first one.
No, I'm not. But
say
I'm
that.
saying like that's pretty funny to send to someone you don't know. I don't know. I don't know their reaction. I don't know. Don't you think? Or is that good? Are you proud of my comment?
I guarantee that it didn't go well for you.
No, it's fine.
You know?
It went fine. It went over fine. Got a lot of laughing
She sent me a
emojis.
screenshot. She was nervous, and I said, "It sounds like Anthony's rubbing off
Yeah.
on you."
Yeah, I can influence people. You
Yeah.
know, it's fun to be the villain.
Have you sent videos of you like dancing to people because I've rubbed off on you?
No. I've never let someone take a video of me dancing.
Yeah.
I had a trainer once who took a video of me like doing this boxing thing, like this exercise to kind of show me what I was doing wrong. And I was like, you need to delete this right now because if this ever got out,
Yeah.
it would be the end of me.
You'd be ruined.
Yeah.
Do you think people actually give a
No, but they would use it to embarrass me. Like, I would just see it forever.
Yeah.
You know, like, I danced on TV once in this thing called Shark Party, and thank God it only really lives in GIF form. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. I don't know if it's
Yes.
GIF or GIF.
No, I don't either. Who
But,
cares?
and like the GIFs, you can't tell how off I am. But I'm like, I'm surrounded by professional dancers, and they made it as simple as they could for me. And just once you're off,
Were you
never
nervous
gets
to
back
do
on.
that?
Nervous is the wrong word, but I definitely like practiced and was like took it dead seriously of like what I had to do because I didn't have to do it twice.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like I knew I wasn't a good dancer, so it wasn't like, oh, this has to go. you know,
Yeah.
well,
We will definitely be using that GIF when we post about this program.
please.
Yeah.
Please.
Look out for it.
Awesome.
Like it.
Dear Broads, Merry Christmas. That's right, I said it. Anyone got a problem with that? Good. My name is Cheryl Lynn Goodman, and I'm 38 years old. I'm from Stillwater, Oklahoma, and I just moved in with my 19-year-old boyfriend, Hunter, who, fun fact, used to be my phys ed student. Yeah, get your jokes out now. Laugh it up, assholes. Just know that while I may be 20 years his senior, he's a Stillwater High dodgeball legend, and goddamn is he limber. Anyways, because this is our first Christmas as a public couple, I want to go all out for Hunter's gift so he doesn't suddenly change his mind and chase after some 16-year-old hussy on the field hockey team. So I did it. I put my money where my mouth is and drove my gym teacher ass to the Manure County Mall to purchase the latest edition of the game Dance Dance Revolution. DDR is all the rage right now, and I don't want Hunter to feel left out because he's shacked up with his middle-aged teacher. Unfortunately, I have terrible impulse control, and as soon as I got home, I ripped the box open and started crushing that son of a bitch. Literally and figuratively, as I danced so hard it stopped lighting up 30 minutes in. Hunter walked in on this monstrosity and immediately locked himself in our room. It's now 4 days later, and he's distraught to say the least. I spent every last dime I owned on that worthless contraption, and now I'm under even more pressure to get him an amazing Christmas present. Broads, what can I give Hunter that'll make him proud to be my live-in boyfriend this holiday season? Signed, a Dance Dance Resolution?
Wow. That's a lot to unpack.
I mean, you guys certainly have a structure for this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our listeners are something else.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah. So when did they get the last Dance Dance Revolution?
Got it for Christmas.
Last year, and now it's a year later. So everything worked out eventually after 4 days locked in the room.
I think he came in and saw her pounding away on this.
Oh, so this is still this Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
She
now
got
what
that
is she?
down. She's like,
She still has
"I
a little bit of
something. I
time."
got a top Dance Dance Revolution. Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
It'll solve all your problems.
Yeah.
Get whichever version. I recommend the Aerosmith version.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's
to
a
me,
good
that's
one.
the most rockin' one.
Yeah.
You know, it's got all the hits. What was the one where you can make Kurt Cobain sing Bon Jovi songs?
Oh
That
my
was
God.
pretty,
Was that Rock Band or was that Guitar Hero?
They're the same to me. I don't
They are
understand
the same thing.
video games. But yeah, I would go, if you're a teacher sleeping with a former student, I
Much
think
younger.
video games, of course. I think video games are the way to go.
Yeah.
So she was on the right track
I
with
think
the
so.
DDR.
I
It's just
I
like,
think tearing open the present and dancing so hard he broke it, which I don't even think is possible. I think that was a mistake.
How do you feel about a 38-year-old dating a 19-year-old? Do you support it?
I don't support it, but I'm not going to jump in front of that bullet. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm not going to I'm not going to make it my business. But do I think it's gross? Yes.
Okay, so you wouldn't date a 19-year-old.
No, I would walk away from a 19-year-old immediately upon finding out they were 19. Whether it was someone I was interested in or just a person at a party.
Right.
Like even anyone.
I wouldn't even talk to anyone.
What about 21? What if they're legal? They can go drink with you. They can go to bars. They can do wine tastings.
At my level, like
Wine
at
tasting.
your age?
No,
like, I
no,
understand
my
that.
yeah,
It's not
that's
about like what you
fine.
can
My
do.
age,
It's about like
16 or
it's
up, you're
their-
good.
It's what's going on in their head. that
Old
I'm
enough
like,
to
I'm just
pee,
not-
old enough for me. That's what I always say.
Your problems are. No one says that. That's not
That's
even,
my saying.
That doesn't even. That's like.
You can pee at any
doesn't
age,
have-
Anthony.
It doesn't have any good age.
You can pee at any age, Anthony.
Yeah, I don't like younger people. Like this is the only time I've talked to someone in their 20s.
Yeah.
oh, wow,
for
that's
some time.
awesome.
Yeah.
I'm doing this.
How, do you like it?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm
Sensei.
handling myself well, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
It's like, anyone under 30 is like an alien to me, basically. And even like at 30, you're still not, you're still coming out of the cocoon.
That makes me kind of relieved to hear because I kind of feel like my life is like torpedoing down at an abnormal rate.
Mm-hmm.
What are you, 26?
Yeah, I'm going to be 27 in February.
You're doing great. The fact that you are where you are, just look at other people around you and see what they're doing.
Yeah, they have PhDs and that stuff.
No, trust me. You keep doing what you're doing, and in a few years, everyone's going to be looking at you like, oh, I wish I had done something cool and risky.
And then you're going to be the one that's like, I put her on, right?
Yeah, you'll have discovered her, so. Your manager, what's Christy, right?
Christy. Yeah, Christy, you listening? Hey,
If
hey.
you had played your cards right, you could be a client right now. I bet she likes you so much.
If
from the
I
podcast.
played my card?
If you had just met her at the party and talked to her and been charming and
Damn it,
realized,
Erica.
who you were standing in front of and what she could do for you, whether like as a client or putting her with someone else at the company. But she like loves you, and when she loves someone like she loves me, things happen. Okay. So your one chance to network at that party, you just screwed the pooch.
Yeah.
And hopefully that pooch was at least 16 years old.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, Christy, if you're listening to this, let me take you to coffee.
Yeah, this is not.
I ruined it.
Venue.
All right, before we get out of here, we're going to read some real-time reviews. So people just write in, and we read their tweets, and kind of, we go from there. We're lucky. We have a ton of listeners. They're super engaged. They love to reach out to us. It's amazing.
Like, gun to your head, do you think you could lie and pull it off?
Yeah.
She's so She's so bad at it.
They're awesome. Our listeners are awesome. We love you guys so much.
You are like a little boy covered in chocolate, being like, hey, every time you lie. It's hilarious.
Take the first one, buddy.
All right, this one comes from @Anthony and Julie Forever. Yeah, I love Anthony Jeselnik so much I was willing to listen to these two self-obsessed dumbass idiots yammer on about their periods just so I could close my eyes and picture my white picket fence life with my dark Prince Anthony anytime he spoke. Wow.
@CancelWomen1234567. I have to admit, before I listened to this podcast, I didn't think it was possible for women to be funny. But now that I have, I can be sure they aren't. Next.
Okay.
The least funny people I've ever seen in my life have been men, almost across the board. Are there unfunny women? Yes. This is Emma VP's elbow. Why is Erica always talking? I know they're co-hosts, but I think Emma should do all the talking. Erica isn't Emma. And I don't like that. Now that I think of it, I don't think the guests should talk either. Just let Emma do the talking and let others just sit still for an hour. Now I pay for that. I don't know. Just my opinion. Hags.
You know what HAG stands for? Remember you used to write it in the back of yearbooks, like, have a great summer.
Really? You're a little bit louder, but it's funny that, like, I compare Erica in the studio on my podcast to like an ASMR video. Like the way she talks is like soothing, but you make her look like Chewbacca. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I like that.
You have
I get that
a
a lot.
soothing voice that I can see people being like kind of lulled into comfort, and then
sleep.
Erica jumps back in with a line. And you get upset about it. So like, yeah, you guys both have nice voices, but yours is definitely
Hags.
been well traveled.
Yeah.
You've lived a harder life.
Okay.
And so I can understand someone wanting to hear more Emma, more channeled through Emma and her dulcet tones.
I like that review.
I think that sucks. @NFC East Beast. Okay, assholes, the jig is up. It's been 18 episodes now, and you still haven't broken down one NFL game, provided any fantasy analysis, or ranked any quarterbacks. Is this a football show or not? I can't keep coming back to this shit and hearing you two blabber on about these dudes you plowed. I want hot takes. I need hot takes.
Wow, okay.
We do have a lot of football listeners, which is strange.
I don't know that we ever said
don't-
it was a football show.
Yeah, we don't really speak about football.
This is the last one. This is from @Sandra Walters Jones. Oh no, you didn't. Oh no, you two didn't. Anthony Jeselnik? Come on. Don't you know he's offensive? Sure, he's good looking, smooth, and has a manly voice, but he's a bad boy. Not in a good way. Shame on you. Shame on you.
I don't know if she means it or not.
Wow.
I bet she does. I've seen things like that where people
Do you have a manly
people
voice?
feel betrayed. Oh yeah, one of the best. In fact, you know what's funny? I keep forgetting to bring it up on our podcast, the real podcast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Comedy Central is looking for a new voice of the network.
Oh my
It's
God.
been like Kyle Kinane, but if they were thinking about me, they would have come to me long ago.
Right.
But I think they're going in a completely different direction. But the fact that I've never done voiceover work
Yeah.
is a crime against entertainment. Like
Yeah.
listen to this
That's
right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is like at the end of a long weekend kind of thing. That if I was really like, I remember they were like, we're looking for the voice of Audi. John Hammond just signed as the voice of Mercedes, and I was like, yeah, I own an Audi.
Yeah.
Like, get me in there. Like, this is ridiculous that I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll do some voice work in the future. With this voice, are you kidding me?
Oh my God, it'd be a waste.
Panties hit the floor.
Literally all the
Miles
time.
away.
I
Miles
walk.
away.
Yeah.
That's why I told you guys no panties.
Yeah.
When you come over
Because
here.
it's not
Make
going to
sure
end
you
well.
wear skirts for security, but no panties.
Yeah.
Because
Right
they
on.
will hit the floor.
Yeah.
There'll be an audio issue every time I open my mouth.
Yeah, you're so right.
Not lying.
All right, so that about does it with Anthony Jeselnik. Hey, and he's looking at me like right now like I'm a fucking idiot because I'm smiling because I'm lying all the fucking time.
I'm waiting to see how you end this.
You
How
know.
bring this up.
Oh, you're gonna love this.
What do you mean? How I'm gonna land it like so smooth? You know, send us some more reviews. Tweet at us. We love getting that stuff. We
Yeah.
love reading the reviews on the podcast. Rate, review, subscribe, all that kind of stuff.
Send us an email.
Send us an email. Tweet at Anthony Jeselnik and tell him how much you want him to, put us on the map. Because that's the
Yeah.
most important bottom line thing about this.
I mean, this is as far as I go. Like, if you want to retweet,
Yeah.
you're getting a like.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, but my name will make this your highest listened rated.
All right, we'll see.
podcast
We'll
of
see.
the bunch. Sorry to Mina Kimes, but
Yeah.
but in the world of podcasting,
Yep.
you you might be a big name in the sports world, but in overall entertainment,
Okay.
I'm the king prince.
Yeah, bitch. All right, that about does it here. Thanks so much for hanging out, Anthony. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm not hanging out. You guys came to my.
Thanks for having us
Thanks
over.
for
You're
totally optionally hanging out. Like, this is so fun. This
Thank
is
you
so
for coming
chill.
over. It was a pleasure speaking with you, ladies. And maybe next time we can do it for real and not through a series of charades.
Yeah, you wish. You wish. This is the best podcast of your life.
Okay.
See you in another time.
Next time.
ADT can design and install a smart home just for you, backed by 24/7 protection. A new smart home at your service, customized for your lifestyle. Set up custom automations unique to your home to automatically do the things like lock the doors or set the thermostat when you leave. Even close your garage door from virtually anywhere. ADT will set up your home with multiple smart home devices and security features like indoor and outdoor cameras, locks, lights, and garage door control, even video doorbells. Visit ADT.com/podcasts to learn more about how ADT can design and install a secure smart home just for you.